What's up, guys? It's Rick here today. And today I'm going to share 79 minutes of advice on how to blow up your wholesaling business. So I've been wholesaling for 22 years, and I'm going to share with you the keys to actually really blowing up a wholesaling business. And some of it stuff you're going to hear, but a lot of it you're going to go, oh my God, that makes perfect sense. So guys, jump along, use the comments, introduce yourself, let us know where you're at. Let me know what temperature is where you're at, because it's cold in Florida right now. When I'm wearing a full sweatshirt, whatever it is, hoodie, whatever you want, I'm cold, man. My hands are cold, everything, but we need to heat this thing up. So let's just start out blowing it up behind me. Let's talk about wholesaling. I know a thing or two about this, and I love it. We've had an amazing week in wholesaling. Actually, I think probably obviously our best week of the year, but a lot of deals rolled over from December, to be fair. But like, guys, there is tons of deals out there. So I want to get it started off today, get it going right. If you are new to our community, do me a favor, make sure you go over to freewholesaling.com. We have started the Ginn Games, and this is a place where you can network with other people. How do you do it? Just go over to freewholesaling.com. I'm going to put it right here on the bottom. This is a 100% free course that we've designed to take the confusion, to take the complexity out of wholesaling and show you not only how to get your first deal, but how to get your first $100,000. You don't believe me? Just go check out all the testimonials. I don't gather testimonials. People post them on their own. It's much more organic. It's the way it's supposed to be. And don't take my word from it. Take it from the thousands of people who have taken our advice. Why would I do this for free? Because number one, I want to make you a better wholesaler. Number two, I want to teach the most wholesalers in the world on how to change their life, because we all agree wholesaling is the key to getting it, is a proven business model. And my third selfish reason is, if you guys can entrust me to teach you and I do it for free, I'm secretly hoping you come back and do deals with me, which a lot of you do. It's not a requirement, but if we build the trust and we help each other out, and I'm going to teach you today, it's all about connecting with people and networking and providing value. So if you want to do that, go to freewholesaling.com. Register in our school community, the largest community in all of real estate. And we love school because it is an amazing community experience. And that is the best way to connect with us. So it's 100% free. Go to freewholesaling.com. And guys, get registered for the Ginn Games. We're giving away tons and tons of prizes. And we're doing it for the entire year. The big kickoff is in January. The goal is, you can't spam. It's not going to work. If you just post, you actually have to provide value. You have to connect with other wholesalers, and you have to inspire others. If you can do that, I got tons and tons of stuff to give away to you. So it's really cool. It's all calculated in there. We have leaderboards. And remember, it just takes one phenomenal post to push you over the edge. How? Get a great deal, teach other people how you did it, how to do the exact same thing, and get other people to interact with you. That's where the real secret is on that. So go to freewholesaling.com. I don't care if you're just getting started in wholesaling or you just need a refresher. Start there. Remember, the fundamentals is everything in wholesaling. So that being said, oh my God, look at these temperatures, man. Look at this. Juan's basking in 78 beautiful degrees in Acapulco. Man. That's awesome. What's up, Luca? How you doing? I appreciate it. And let's try to keep warm. Looks like the whole country's gonna make close. I got John and Leah coming at 42 degrees in Texas. That's even cold by your guys' standards, man. That's crazy. And I got Rhonda right here in my backyard, Jensen Beach. Shout out. I love the local people in Florida. I love everybody across the country. So let's get into it, because I only got so much time to share this advice. And honestly, this is important stuff. Now, it's important. I'm going to share things with you, and I'm not going to do them in order of importance, because honestly, it's hard to outweigh one thing over the other. You're going to have to assimilate. So when I stress something, I said, this is non-negotiable, you have to do it, take the hint. So number one doesn't mean it's number one. It just means it's important. And let's just jump into it, because I got, I think 30 things. So I only got so much time. Number one, marketing is the highest skill set you can learn in wholesaling. You can argue with me, but I already know it's a fact. And I'm not really interested in other people's opinions, because I have scoured the wholesaling landscape. And there is one fundamental feature that the best wholesalers have. They're all amazing marketers. End of story. No exceptions. If you don't believe me, go scour the internet and find the most influential people, the people that do the most business in the wholesaling community for single family houses. And the number one thing they'll tell you is they mastered marketing. And the really cool part is they mastered marketing so well, they learned how to connect with motivated sellers. And then eventually they moved on to take that marketing skill and developed it on the internet, social media, and everything else. Because there's two skill sets, two very important skill sets you can have in the real estate business. Number one is you can get deals done. Some people call that sales. On the realtor side, I agree with that. On the wholesaling side, I know that's not the truth because I've already done it. I've been in a high pressure sales job. Wholesaling is not a high pressure sales job. You're a guide. You help people out, period. If you offer a solution that fixes their problem and they're confident and they trust you, they go forward with you. There's no magical words you can say. Some of you go, well, Rick, isn't that technically sales training? It's not. Sales training is convince people that want to sell something to actually sell it. In wholesaling, we don't look for people who want to sell. We look for people who need to sell. End of story. So if I know that, I just got to get good at that process. Everybody has to do it regardless of what level you are in wholesaling. And you do that by accomplishing marketing, meaning you learn how to seek out these people, find these niche lists, and connect with them. It's not easy. I'm the first to admit it, but it is. And when you break it down to simplicity, that's what wholesaling is about. And so many people are I'm just going to skip the marketing aspect. I've never seen anyone be successful in wholesaling that skipped the marketing. Because even if you are successful, say you use like paid lead sources, which is a viable source. I don't even deny it. The problem is, how are you going to market yourself? Seriously. If you're really good at like closing, sales training, or whatever you want to call it, how are you going to market yourself? Because marketing is the ability to let the world know what you do and they want to do business with you. So if I can do wholesale deals and I'm really good at it, but I skip marketing, how are you going to market yourself down the road? You see this all the time. I see wholesalers that come on and they try to do like influence and stuff like that. And they just don't understand. You can tell they don't understand the fundamentals of marketing. And how do you learn the fundamentals of marketing? It's all by failures. I've had so many failures in marketing, like so much wasted money. I know what resonates with people and what doesn't. I believe people are looking for people that are authentic, that will do what they say, and genuinely want to help people out. And if you want to do that, wholesaling is great. I'm just saying, don't skip marketing because it's going to cost you millions of dollars down the road. Because here's what people do. So they don't understand marketing, so they hire consultants. Listen, I know there's consultants out there. I'm not a big fan of like consultants. Consultants are usually failed wholesalers, failed social media people, and they're going to tell you how to run their business. If you want to find out if someone's a good marketer, just go to their social media channels and find out if they're getting traction or not. Find out if like it's legit. And if you see like major spikes and then flatline forever, I already know what they're doing. You're not tricking anyone. You have to understand it. Guys, marketing is the highest skill set you can learn in wholesaling. I will never waver on this. I will never negotiate it. And if you skip this, you are eventually going to hit a roadblock. Ask me how I know it. I consult more people that skip this. And I say, listen, you just got to go back and learn the fundamentals. Do not overlook this. Do not underestimate it. It's brutally important. Everybody understand that. I can't stress that enough. Okay. I love the comments, dude. Okay. Keep commenting and we'll keep on going here. Next one. You have to be resourceful as a wholesaler. There is no exception. What do I mean by this? It means you're going to have to learn to think on your feet. You're going to have to learn how to respond to people, not react to them. And you have to prepare in private for what you're going to do in public. Being resourceful means when you get a no, it just means they need more information. They need more clarification. They need more guidance. They need more help. No, your entire life you've been taught no just means walk away. Why? Because you guys all the time go, Rick, I went to go get that government list and they said no. So I came up with the saying, persistence beats resistance. If you can overcome at least 2 no's on average for the average human being on this world, you can get much further on where you want to get, what you want to accomplish. How do I know this? Go ahead and play with it. If you just take no to every answer you get, most of the time people are just trying to deflect you and make their job easier. No, to me, it just needs, I need to give more clarification, more information, and become a better communicator. And you can play this game with every aspect in your life. Wholesaling is no different. There are times we have to be tremendously resourceful. We have to figure out how to get a moving truck, help people out, how to get people to a closing. How do I do that? I hire an Uber. Hey, how can I help this person overcome this obstacle in their life for them to move forward and sign a contract? You have to be resourceful. You have to bring in other people. Guys, we are not big, giant corporations with these strict policies. We are in the business of solving human problems. And when we find problems, we solve it. Perfect example. You all hear me talk about, like, I had a lady a long time ago. I mean, I tried everything to buy this house. One of the worst houses I've ever seen, cats everywhere. And the bottom line, you know what solved it? It was my resourcefulness. I left her a little note and just a thing of cat food and like a little treat thing. And from that, she prompted to call her daughter, go talk to this guy. He was the nicest guy. He actually cares about what happens to my animals. Now, she rescued wild cats, which destroyed her house. And I know she needed help. So I kept pounding like the traditional wholesaler in me. And I decided to be resourceful, connect with her on a personal basis on her cat. Once she saw I cared about her animals and her cat, she knew I was the right fit. And that's what I understand, being resourceful and doing stuff with that. Sometimes we're so focused on trying to get a deal closed. Sometimes you need to pull back and find a way to connect with them. Either it's a sports team, it's a dog, it's a cat, it's doing something for their elderly mother. That's the stuff that makes a difference in wholesaling. If you guys are just focused on making offers, you're not going to be resourceful. And if you're not resourceful, you're not going to last long in wholesaling. Be resourceful. Think on your feet. Be creative. Solve problems nobody else can solve. That's basically what we do. And you understand what it means to be. You have to be resourceful. If you are a black and white corporate person, you will not make it in wholesaling. I'm telling you as a truth bomb to you. I see more people get stuck like, what, Rick, I can't sign this deal unless I get $50 of gas in my car. Okay, go ahead and sign it. We'll make that happen. Like, that's it. Get a gas card. Do whatever you got to do. What's the big deal? As long as I'm getting a signed contract, I'm going to take somewhat of a risk in my life. Now, I'm not telling you to give them $5,000 up front. We don't do that. We give it to the title company. But you have to be resourceful. If you can help further them along in getting a problem solved, you can get closer to getting a contract signed. There is no magical words you can say to people to just have them magically sign. You have to win their trust and you got to help them solve problems. If you can do that, you can get anything done you want in life. Be resourceful. Okay, the next one. Become a list ninja. What do I mean by that? Like, I came up with the term ninja a long time ago. Now, obviously, I didn't invent the word ninja, but a ninja is someone who kind of sneaks around and like preset stuff up to increase the odds in their favor. And that's what we're talking about today, about blowing up your business. So a list ninja is someone who studies lists and filters with the greatest capacity. What do I mean? Take, for instance, like X Leads, and we're in New Jersey here is. When I first started out wholesaling, I did not have a lot of money. I would spend days, do you hear me? Days, 10, 12, 15 hours cultivating the perfect list of 300 to 500 people, because that's all I could afford, because they were 20 cents a piece at the time. And I learned every little change in the filter criteria would either increase my numbers or lower my numbers. And I quickly learned what drives a list, what takes away from a list. And then you find out what's the most important factors on a list. If you can't learn to be a list ninja, it's going to be tough. This is part of marketing. Building list is part of marketing, which I talked about in the beginning. If you can't build list, you're not going to have great success in wholesaling. If we don't start with the list, where do you start? Like, are you going to randomly like walk around in the grocery store and try to find people? That's ridiculous. So become a list ninja. I don't care. Do it with X Leads. Do it with whichever source you want to do. But for God's sakes, get some help and understand you should be able to go through every filter in whatever software you use and play around with the data to see what increases the number, what lowers it. And then, so if you have, so the really cool thing in X Leads, even the basic plan, you get 15,000 leads. Now, the reality is, how are you going to get through 15,000 leads? That's an entirely different discussion and topic, but I want to maximize it. on average, when I first did this, I could get through about 1,800 leads a month. Now, keep in mind, I did not do, back then, I would do handwritten notes. I would do driving for dollars. And I did door knock. We didn't have reverse driving for dollars. I don't know. I just wasn't bright enough at the time. So like I could only cultivate so many. So I tried to maximize the highest percentage I could possibly get. You guys should be stacking the odds in your favor. Now, there's plenty of tutorials, but at some point you got to do List Ninja practice skills, meaning try every iteration in the filter from all the way from left to right, everything from valuation, the home ownership, to even the mortgage stuff. Why? Because once you understand what triggers an increase or decrease, you can do some amazing things with List. But a lot of you don't understand List at all. You go, well, that's part of marketing. I go, Rick, I'll just outsource that. I get it. Actually, it has pre-done lists for you, but like I need to build trust within the software I work with. They've got to show me deals. Obviously, Xlead shows you deals, but you have to establish that trust, just like you're doing wholesaling. Become a list ninja. It is valuable and it's really, really important. Okay. Now, I will tell you right now, this is a big one right here. Title companies. If you're not going to grow your wholesaling business without it. Now, how you do it, listen, I'm going to drop some truths in this, and I know I'm not going to make everyone happy, but remember, I'm catering to the wholesaler trying to get up and running. That's all my message is to it. If you're anybody else, you might want to put earmuffs on at this point, because I'm going to tell you the truth. Number one, you don't need a transaction coordinator. You really haven't done enough deals to even worry about that. By the way, basic transaction coordinating is a simple process that title companies handle anyways. Yes, do personalities and different kind of owners get in the way of it? Yes. I've taught you how to pre-vet all title companies to work with you as a wholesaler. Make sure you go in our videos, Flip with Rick. Also at freewholesaling.com, I give you all the training you need and teach you how to vet them. There are more challenges today, making understanding like assignments and stuff like that. But the goal number one is the title company should not train wreck your deal. That's why you always want to work within your title company. That is your home field. Get to know your title company better, just as good as you know your spouse. You think I'm kidding on that statement? It is everything. They will save your butt when a seller falls apart. They will actually do some heavy lifting for you if you show sincerity and you show them that you want to get deals to the finish line. But I got people say, Rick, do I need to hire a transaction coordinator for what? Like, honestly, I did my first 500 deals all by myself, like 500. I'm not proud of it, but I did. So if I can do it, you can easily do it. If you have control of the seller, meaning you have a deal, then honestly, the title company just underwrites the transaction and make sure it goes through. Don't think this title company is there to like work for you and do everything for you. They're just there to tell you signs of stress on the relationship, meaning cash buyer doesn't fund their deal when they say they are. The seller's calling, asking questions that makes them nervous. That's the whole function of it. But the other side of the title company, you guys got to understand, they know everybody in the business. My title company knows exactly who I am in my markets and all the multiple markets I do. And they tell me, you ready for this? On a weekly basis, almost daily, they get multiple phone calls from people all over the nation asking about me and Zach. Now, do you think I trust my title company? I do. I trust them with everything. I've been working with them a long time. I've been in this business a long time. Have I only worked one title company? Absolutely not. It's impossible to do that, especially across the entire country. So your title company knows who the players are. They know who the biggest wholesalers are, the biggest realtors, the biggest hard money people, the biggest soft money people. And my favorite part is they know when deals fall apart and they need to get done now that meet my criteria. I get a plethora of deals from the title companies I work with just in my local market because they know I do exactly what I say. Every wholesaler knows in my area who I am, what I do, and how I've done it over the years. Why? Because I had to work intimately with them for a long time. Now we do that with a staff and we do it nationwide. I love wholesale deals. It's an addiction. Without a title company, it'd be impossible. So clarification, title companies are the key to getting your deals to the finish line. Number two, you don't need a transaction coordinator when you start out wholesaling. You just need deals. And number three, you like most of you don't need specialized companies. You just need to get deals done. So use your title company as a lead source. And this is so overlooked by everybody that is in the wholesaling business. Like, you guys are missing the point here. My title companies, my title company, the main one I work with, been in business over 20 years. They have 20 years of data on everybody in the business, whose sons are taking over, whose grandfathers ran the business. And instead of me trying to figure it out, which would take me 6 months to a year, I can figure out in one meeting or two. Now, we're going to talk about relationships in a little while, but I'm telling you guys, title companies, if you have no relationship with your title company and you're not really connecting with people, you're missing the boat. I could have never done the explosive growth I did without my title company. Honestly, my title company has supplied me so many leads, so many fixed opportunities, so many last minute funding deals, so many probate deals to connect me to a probate lawyer. It's endless. Why? Because the more business I do, the more business they do, and everybody wins. It is the perfect relationship. Harvest it. Get to know the owner. Go to dinner with them. Get to understand them. They like people that want to know that you want them to win. Because so many title companies are just like honest, like that. All they do is break bad news to people. So, which leads us to the next one. Actually, let me get this one out of the way. You ready? So a lot of people here, like me and Zach, anti-realtor. And I'm just telling you the truth. When you start out in wholesaling, going out knocking on doors and cold calling realtors is beyond painful. Why? Because these are people typically just want to sell, and you can't talk directly to the seller, and they're on market. They're the complete opposite of what I teach you, ODN, off market, direct to seller that needs to sell. So when these properties get listed, it winds up being a headbutt. Number one, you don't even understand the realtor's terminology, escrow. Here's this typical inspection. They're like, I'm not giving you more than 3 days, maybe 7. And then you guys are asking for 90 days. And the realtor's like, am I in the twilight zone? This guy's crazy. He wants to leave $100 deposit, wants a 90-day inspection, and he wants to offer 40% below the list price. And that's what you guys do over and over again. And you're like shocked why you can't do deals with realtors. Now, are there deals with realtors? They are, but there's not a lot. I'm going to be honest with you. Some realtors are really good at sniffing out deals, but when deals go on the market, the realtor has an obligation to try to get the highest and best offer. Counterintuitive to what we do as wholesalers. So what I like to do, my favorite way to work with realtors is basically what I call pre-vetting realtor leads. And this is a simple strategy, and I learned this the hard way. I went out and pounded on everyone's door. I called every realtor, hundreds and hundreds. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I got one or two to like work with me, and it never really went anywhere. And I wasted weeks, if not months, doing this. And what I learned is I'm better off doing the pre-vet realtor. And what does that mean? There's only 2 types of deals I'm looking for realtors. Because most of you just sit there and pound realtors, and that's why they hate us. Because you feel like you're really wasting their time, and they would never go for what you're offering them. So why beat our heads on the table trying to call people that don't want to talk to us? Now, is there an opportunity? I agree. Realtors do control about 95% of the market. I cannot deny that fact. But like, I got to understand the pool I'm playing in. Okay. So if I know that, then I have to let the market do the damage. What do I mean by that? When people put properties on the market, meaning the open market, especially MLS, the market's mean. It's not nice. It does not care about your feelings. And it will tell you when the house is crappy, overpriced, and needs like a ton of work. And sometimes the market is the best advice that a homeowner and or a realtor can get. And sometimes it's the realtor's fault. Sometimes it's the owner's fault. Sometimes it's both. I'm not here to do the blame game. The bottom line is, here's how I attack realtors. The only deals that work for me with realtors, cold calling realtors, in my opinion, is not a high productive income producing strategy. Even for a high level wholesaler, if like they're not going to sit there and make a crap load of phone calls. Can they hire cold callers? They can. I just don't know how effective it is because I don't do it. So I don't have the data for it. But the reality is, I'm going to go to a realtor and go, listen, hey, Jan, here's the deal. If you ever get that listing where, like, say they bought the house and was in great shape and they call you 10 years later to sell it, and you go back and look at the house, you're like, crap, holy moly, you got issues like leaky roofs. That property's just nasty. And you tell them they got to do all these repairs when they clean it up, and they go, listen, we just want to kind of get it sold. Call me, Jan, and I will make a fair offer. I will pay your full commission, and we'll make it a cash deal so you don't have to worry about inspections. and we can get the deal done so you don't have to masquerade on MLS and go through this, that type of show, because it's going to be a nightmare. You're going to sit there 3 months, you're going to do multiple reductions, and you're going to have a coming to Jesus meeting with the owner. Why don't we just do it now? If it's that bad, why pay your full commission? Why? I save time. I make you money instantly. And she does not waste time marketing a property, does not suit her avatar buyer. She can't show it to most of her buyers because it's a crap property. If that realtor calls me once or twice a year, I am happy. But the problem is if I do it the other way, I go, hey, just call me on any property and you get sold. The realtor goes, oh, this guy's a cash buyer. He's just going to buy everything. And they call you 5 times and you go, no, that one's overpriced. That one needs way too much work. That one I would never buy because it's in this neighborhood. This one's just ugly. And that one, you're absolutely nuts on the price. They're like, I hate working with wholesalers. And that's how we get this bad rap. That's the first one. I pre-vet. When you get a crappy house, before you put it on the market, call me. I'll pay your full commission. I will make it seamless. I never promise to relist them because that's a lie. We're looking to sell the contract, but I will pass their information along on the fix and flipper that decides to do it. And I think it would be a great person to work with. Why not? I want them to win. And that's how you get them to bring back 1, 2, 3 deals a year for you. You're never going to get 30 from a realtor. There are those types of realtors that are mostly REO ones, and those deals are not suited for wholesaling. It's another topic. The other one is bring me your tired listings. The key is the realtor brings it to you. You don't chase them down. What's a tired listing? 6 months old, multiple price reductions, and their listing's getting ready to expired. That is when a realtor is open to working with you, because if they don't get it sold, they get nothing. They have marketing, all those open houses, and they will be much more open on working a deal with you. This is how I work with realtors. It works. You can do it the other way. You got thousands and thousands of hours with little to no results. Because remember, most wholesale deals don't go to realtors right off the bat. Now, homeowners will seek them out due to loyalty. And if I pre-vetted that realtor, they know which ones need to go on the market and which ones need to go to a wholesaler. They understand it. So that's it. Now, let me check my comments here, make sure we're good. If you're in Minneapolis, you're probably freezing your butt off right now. So, okay. Now we're going to get in some nitty gritty ones here. So I'm just going to tell you the truth the way it is. So networking, it's everything. If you can't learn to network, your wholesale business dies. Now you can do incredible traction, honestly, in the first year, 2, 3, maybe 4, maybe even 5. But at some point you need help to grow your business. I am a walking billboard for this. Now, I've always been a social creature. I've just been a creature of control. And most of you I'm talking to know exactly what I mean. You try to do everything yourself. I get it. That's how we were taught. That's how we protect ourselves. That's how we don't have to be vulnerable. You're going to have to do the complete freaking opposite. Number 1, you have to learn how to properly network. And why do I word it like this on the screen right here? It's because most people have never got a true course on how to network. Luckily, I have had a lot of experience in networking over my life through multiple businesses, and especially in the wholesaling. And the one thing I've learned is if you come up to me at any type of event and you just want to take. So here's the typical networking at like a real estate investor meeting. Ready? Hey, Rick, I need your cash buyers. You got cash buyers? I got a deal. You got a cash buyer? Can you give me your cash buyers? Can I have your cash buyers? Can I have all your cash buyers right now? Hey, Rick, you got any motivated seller leads? Can you just give me? Hey, Rick, can you give me all your soft money private partners? Do you hear it? It's like, give me, I, let me take. Honestly, I'm just going to politely move myself to the other side of the room because they just want to extract information and they're offering nothing in exchange for me. Now, I'm all about helping people, but there's a limit. And for 22 years, I've gone to meetings, and because everybody knows me, I go to these meetings, it gets to the point where you just repel and go to the other side of the room. In fact, when you get good at this, it's a skill set you will master. Now, how do you come up to someone like Rick, Zach, or anybody else that's a real player in wholesaling? It's simple. Hey, Rick, I see you've had amazing success. I would love to work with you. Is there anything I can do to help you out with your business? Anything I can do right now to provide value to you? Honestly, I know it's a cheesy statement, but I know that they're honestly trying to be genuine, and they understand if they don't provide value, I'm not going to probably forge a relationship with them. And I'm not going to ask someone to get a cup of coffee or anything like that. I'm not like that type of guy. I go, listen, I tell you what market are you in? And I'll ask some questions. I go, listen, what if I gave you a list? Could you call 1,000 people and see if you can find a motivated seller? And I'll help you take the deal down. Yeah, I can do that. Okay. I want to see if you're a real player and you want to do that. I will forward you that list. I'll have it to you by tomorrow morning. Let me know your results. That's how I'm going to exchange that information. Simple. Because if they can step up to the plate and actually swing the bat, I want to work with them. But if you're just talking and you just want to get paid, but you don't want to do any work, I want nothing to do with you. And that's the reality of life of networking. You have to find people that want to provide value. Now, if you're new to the business and you don't have a lot of value, you're going to have to go out of your way to provide value. If you keep attacking people and not giving them value and you want to know why you're not getting anywhere, look in the mirror. It's the truth. You attract what you put out there. You ever find like negative people on the internet, like they constantly just have to bash, bash, bash. In fact, they've made their reputation of just, hey, I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't like this person. I don't like this technique. After a while, they do so many videos like they're known as the person that just everybody can find problems. Very few people can find solutions. Find people that help you get solutions in your wholesale business and repel the people that just want to extract, because they'll never make it in wholesaling. I've watched so many people go through this business. The ones that just want to take, they're in it for the long haul. They're what we call sprinters. You guys know what I mean by sprinters. I mean, they want to look good in the moment in that meeting, but they don't want to provide you any value. I run for the hills. Learn how to properly network, guys. It will change your life. Instead of attacking people, provide them value. And honestly, just by showing your effort and concern for them is amazing. Another tactic, if I want to work with someone like Rick or Zach, or maybe I got John or whoever it is on the internet, and you truly want to connect with them, why don't you do a little research about them and use the skills I teach you to work with motivated sellers. Find out what their wife's name is. Find out what their real passions and hobby are. Everybody knows what I love. I love the fish. I love the outdoors. I love the water. I love to lift weights. I love to just be a strong person because I can control that. So like when someone comes to me and goes, I heard you like to lay in bed, stuff like, no, like I love when people will do research because it means they care. So like tips on that, I could do an entire thing on networking, learn to network. Now, the next one's going to be a real truth bomb for you. And I want you to understand, but we have to understand how this works. So we talk about deriving leads in wholesaling. And it's a big, big part of what we do. What you don't understand is you have more options now than ever on how to do leads in wholesaling. Like it's crazy. I'm here to tell you, if you're just getting out started in wholesaling, figure out leads on your own. Stop trying to depend on everyone else to get leads for you. Paid companies, pay-per-click, SEO, PPL. I'm just telling you, if you start off on that, you're stuck because you have no marketing abilities. Now, you might be a better person to talk and close, but you're going to lose the ability to attract people because you don't understand the fundamentals of wholesaling. So if we go back to the first one, I said, marketing is the key to being a great wholesaler. If you skip it and you go, I'm just going to do paid for leads, you can do it. It's your option, but eventually it will catch up to you. How? It's going to catch up to you in a whole lot of other ways. So I'm going to show you. 70% of the leads you derive should be from your own effort. What do you mean by that, Rick? Meaning you need to have the direct control of the list, the marketing medium, and how often and frequent it gets delivered. End of story. Rick, what would be a qualification for that? It's like forever. Government lists, driving for dollars, reverse driving for dollars, door knocking, going to networking events, direct mail, SMS text platforms. What's not in my control? When I pay a third-party person to bring me a lead, and then it's a problem when the price constantly fluctuates. So now it means you're paying market price. Remember, you're a wholesaler, but you're paying market price. And a lot of them start out very attractive. And eventually, if too many people get into the pool, it pushes the price up. And the problem with a paid company, if it's a social media manager, if it's a pay per lead, or it's a pay per cost, is eventually it's hard to calculate the ROI. So ROI stands for return on investment. So every good business person has to calculate, what is my ROI on any type of lead source? We calculate on direct mail. We calculate on cold calling, SMS. It's all, you can calculate it. The problem is when I take it outside of my company and I go, hey, feed me leads, you become dependent on it. You expect it. So what happens if a lead goes from $200 to $400? It doubles your expense. And then what if the quality of the lead goes down too? And that's the one thing nobody can factor in. So if the quality of the lead means the margins go down because you can't really build a relationship, but the cost goes up because they're getting more traffic doing it, how do I calculate the ROI on that? The problem is you have to wait till it starts to really hurt. You go, man, I can't do that any longer. Now, I'm okay with people getting stuff from like paid sources, but when you depend on it and your entire business plan is built on it, you're going to have problems. Either it's going to be out legislated, they're going to put such restrictions and the cost is going to go up so high, or so many people are going to come in that pool. I remember when we did Google Leads, it was $20, $30 a pop. It's $3,500 in my market just for someone to click on it. How I would never, like, that to me is beyond gambling. The return is so minimal. And what these companies usually get down is they figure out where you can get a 10 to 12% return. Guys, I can get 10 to 12% and just park my money in the stock market and do nothing. So why would I take the risk? The reason why we market is to make massive returns, not 10 to 12%. Now, I don't have all the numbers on it. I just know I have met with the large people much, much bigger than me, and they all agree with it. You have to control a majority of your leads in-house, meaning you drive the factors. You can experiment with PPC, pay per lead, stuff like that. But if it is 100% your business, when it breaks, your business is done and it's over with. And if you understand that, derive your leads. Derive most of your leads. In the beginning, we teach you how to do government lists because you don't have a lot of money. And more importantly, you're learning the fundamentals of wholesaling on what really sticks and how to find the right seller. So guys, does everybody understand this 70% rule? Like, I've switched the 70% around rule. Forget ARV. It's got to be on your marketing because, guys, at one point I went all in on RVM. Like, I was that good. And I learned my lesson. I shut down everything else. And I did that. And damn, did that blow up in my face. It got completely outlawed. I had people reaching out to me, cease and desist, and it became a nightmare. And I had to go back. And as painful it was, I had to go back and go. You know what I did? When it got all screwed up, I went back to the fundamentals of wholesaling. And at some point, you all are going to experience that. So I want you, if you can do 70%, think of a portfolio. Say you're doing investing for your family's future. Are you going to put like 100% of it in crypto? Like, I know some of you would say yes, but the reality is really 5 to 10% at most, like, unless you bought it way back when. Why? Because it's a little unknown. It's a little bit of a wild child, but like if it hits, it goes through the park. And then if it becomes nothing, it's like no big deal. Or if it comes $1 million a coin, it's like, okay, well, I bought it when they were 5,000 a coin. It's fine. I don't need to buy anymore. I just want you to diversify and understand, because if you get pinched or something gets outlawed, you're stuck. Also, I don't like to pay market price for anything. Sorry. It's just, that's what a wholesaler is. So the fact that an outside marketing company can dictate to me how much I need to pay for the lead based on how much traction they get on it kind of sucks. There's no way they can guarantee the quality of the lead either. Only you can. And how do you do that? By becoming a list ninja, by targeting the right people that are off market, direct to seller that need to sell. And if you understand that, it's much easier. Guys, don't get pinched. I'm not saying pay-per-click, pay-per-lead SEO doesn't work, but I strongly advise against it as a starting strategy, unless you have a partner that is fully enveloped and understands that. Guys, that goes for like Facebook marketing for wholesale. I just don't think it works. It's just the truth. Why? Because I've ran the data. I've done it myself. And honestly, Facebook changes the variables so much. It's just like a waste of my time. So I'm just being honest with you. Some people can make it work and God bless them, but I promise you, nobody basing your entire business off like Facebook leads. You would never make it. And then you need to understand, if all your eggs are in one basket, it's just a matter of time before you're going to be hard pressed to fix it. And so be prepared, understand how to do everything. And once you know how to do everything, then you can point your attention, your resources, your employees to do it. Okay. Next one, for those of you that have inbound leads, any type of inbound leads, some of you transition, some do outbound. Outbounds when we go out and chase everybody out, which has what most of you start with. You do inbound leads, but there's a problem. You miss the basic concept of wholesaling. So when people call you on your phone, you ready? This is a brilliant one. This is the one thing that really blew my wholesaling through the roof. We answered our phones. For God's sakes, if you're going to put out a phone number, if you're going to put a sticky note on a door, you're going to send a piece of direct mail, and you got this beautiful local phone number, which I strongly advise, answer the damn thing. What kind of impression do you make on people when they're like, have you ever, listen, think about this. Think about when someone has a problem in their life. Maybe somebody has an addiction and they get the guts to call that 800 number and it's a voicemail. What do you think that person, like that could actually hurt a person very bad. They can make a really bad decision. So when somebody reaches out to you, you got one chance to create a trust, a first impression. And if it goes to voicemail on some ridiculous 2-minute voicemail because somebody taught you that, I have never, ever subscribed to that since 2003. I was one of the first people to say, just answer your phone. Every person told me, just let it go to voicemail and screen through it that way. I go, what kind of impression is that? People don't want to talk to machines. We talk about AI in a little bit, but like the reality is if you answer your phones, well, Rick, how do I answer the phones? Hey, how about hello? Just be who you are. We don't represent ourselves as some fancy, slick company because people are trying to get away from that. Answer your phones. I'm telling you, it will make a tremendous, tremendous difference. You've got to understand that. Okay. Let's keep moving along because I'm behind here. Oh, gosh. Sometimes I put the wrong slide up there. Sorry about that. Okay. Don't condition your wholesalers. That's my job to do. Condition your sellers. It's so funny that I've been doing this for over 20 years. It works. I don't need anybody else's opinion on it. I know it works. Why? Because if you give people an out, they'll take it 99% of the time. Now, do I condition sellers when people want to sell their house? No, I don't even waste my time with those people. I only condition people that need to sell their house, that are off market, that's direct the seller. So the last thing I'm going to do is condition a realtor because they're not the seller. That property's on market and they only want to sell. Conditioning does not work for non-motivated sellers. It's a waste of time. I agree. Let's all agree on that. The reality is, though, is the condition is an agreement you have with the seller to, I'm going to spend time with you. And at the end, you have a decision to make a yes or no. Now, every one of them going to make a yes or no decision? Odds are some aren't. But the idea, and we're going to talk about this a little bit, is to progress your lead one way or the other. Why? Because if you let people sit around long enough, most of the people we're dealing with that are motivated sellers have chronic issue called procrastination. And as you guys know, if you give someone a lever to utilize procrastination against you, they will massively hit you hard. The whole point of conditioning a seller is I've got over 22 years experience. There is a method to the madness. If I know I'm dealing with motivated sellers with massive issues and they're very chronic, their voicemail's full, they've neglected the property, life's gotten in the way, I want to help them out. But if they can't make a decision, I can't help them. So if my job is to help sellers get out of the way, why wouldn't I precondition them? If not, they'll never make a decision. It's not even about trusting you. You have to guide them. Like eventually you have to make a yes or no decision. Why? Because motivated sellers are a mess. And I know that. And my job is to help them as a guide get through the process. And if I can't I spend all the time with them, answer every question, go through every scenario, go over numbers, but they owe you an answer at the end. Now, if you don't precondition, you're going to get a maybe all the time, almost 9 out of 10 times. Why? I've ran the numbers. I've test marketed this, and it doesn't guarantee a positive outcome every time. I can't do that. They're called human beings. But if you use this method for truly motivated sellers, it is a godsend. It will save the sellers from their own agony of procrastination. And most importantly, it will help them accomplish their end goal of getting that property sold and moving on with their life. Most people are hanging on to a really bad situation. And it is human nature, if you're scared or frightened, just to avoid the decision at all, because you feel like if you don't make a decision, you can't make a mistake. The truth of the matter, by not making a decision is usually the worst choice. This is the goal with preconditioning. That's it. Now, if you use this strategy on paid per leads, pay per click, real estate agents, I agree. It ain't going to work. But that's not wholesaling. And if you want to do something like that, I don't teach those methods. Find other people. And I'm sure there's some other crafty line they can come up with. A preconditioned statement just helps move your lead forward at the end so they don't get caught in the procrastination wheel. Because the odds are, if you're marketing the government list, me and Zach teach you, if you're dealing with people off market, direct to seller that need to sell, they need the preconditioning. And honestly, it is a godsend. It will help everybody out in the transaction, because you imagine spending hours with someone like, I don't know, I got to think about it. What's your defense? What are you going to do? Okay, call me when you're ready. You see, we're not salesmen, we're guides. And then if you can't guide them along that and you don't know how to get through it, we have a solution for it. It's called conditioning. It just helps minimize the procrastination. Doesn't eliminate it, but it gives clear directives on the expectations by the end. And I have never met a seller, guys. You hear me? I have never met a seller that is not relieved to hear some sort of expectation and outcome at the end of the conversation. Period. You can ramble on and on with realtors like they don't care, but I care when I meet with a seller. I tell them, I'm going to look at your house. I'm going to get to know you. At the end, you have a decision to make. Either you love Rick and you want to work forward with him, or Rick, it's just not a good fit. It's a hard no. Either way, is it fair to ask you for the decision in the end? What is so wrong with that? It is perfect. The only person who doesn't work for them is people that just want to sell their house, and that is going to require a full-fledged realtor salesman, and I don't teach that. So condition your sellers, guys. You'll thank me later. I promise you on that one. Action over results in year one in wholesaling. What do I mean by this? So many of you are so focused on the number of deals you want to get done. And don't get me wrong, that is a goal. It is an outcome that you expect, period. A result is an outcome. It's equivalent to, like, say, if you're 50 pounds overweight and you go, I want to weigh, 150 pounds, and you're 200 pounds. And all you do is go, crap, I'm not 150 pounds. And you're on day 3, you're day 4. Maybe it's week 4. Maybe it's week 16. You're like, I'm still not there. You can either focus on what's getting you there, which is the actionable steps, or you can commiserate on the result, because nothing really good in life is going to happen overnight. So if you focus on the results, when I'm talking about wholesaling and blowing up your business, this is what I'm talking about. What are the steps you're moving forward to get your marketing list, get your government list, get your driving for dollars list, meeting with as many sellers as you humanly can in a day on what your timeline dictates, how many sellers you're meeting with, and how many contracts you're writing. You see, those are all actionable results. And if you push on the actions, the result's going to come. But if you focus on the results, what I find is it diminishes your ability to take the actionable steps every day, because you lose motivation. Now, I'm going to tell you, you're going to have to shake motivation out of your head, because it ain't going to last in wholesaling. It will spark you and light you up, but it's not the fuel that's going to survive. You know what fuels your business? Leads, talking to people. That's how you convert. But so many people just want to teach you how to convert people. The hardest part is filling your pipeline up. End of story. Some people say it's the easiest. Then show me your 500 leads, like right now. How do I produce 500 leads? You can't. You've got to work at it. It takes one lead at a time. You got to keep picking through it. And I'm just telling you, you have to focus on action. How many cold calls I make? How many texts did I make? How many doors did I knock on? How many people did I meet with? Who did I talk today to further my agenda to get successful in wholesaling? Because most of you, simply put, I know you want to get 500 deals done. Let's get deal 1 done. How do I get deal 1 done? I need to meet with 500 people. How many did I meet with today? How many actionable steps did I take? Did I meet with 10? Fine. I'm 10 closer to my goal. Whatever it is, guys, you have to focus on the action, because if you start looking at the results around week 4 through like week 12, you're going to get discouraged. And like, if I can look at anybody that I help out with wholesaling, I just say, show me what you did today. Show me what you did this week. Because the outcome of your wholesaling business, the trajectory of it, is based on what you did today and what you did yesterday, and everything else is already in the past. So you can change your projection by focusing on the actionable steps. How do you do it? Just come up with a simple marketing plan. Simplicity is the key here. And do the steps every day and don't waver on it. End of story. That's what you have to do. Action over results, meaning I have to drive the actions to get the result I want. And if I don't drive the actions, I have a zero shot at getting the results. But I get it. I don't get the results. Like I lose motivation. Action. If you keep hitting the action and you hit your numbers there, eventually you're going to get lucky. Nobody gets lucky by accident in wholesaling. It's the people that takes the most actionable steps. So I'm going to share a little tidbit with you on like another little one is, guys, text your missed calls, period. Just make it part of your system. I don't care, use ninja mode, automate whatever you need to do. It is an opportunity in wholesaling. I'm looking to touch base with anyone. Phone. Remember, the whole goal of texting is to convert them to phone. I've only did one deal entirely by texting. And honestly, it's one of those just completely layup deals. And then my title company took it over. But would I trust somebody that just texted me? Yeah, eventually you're going to get like catfished if you do that. Like, so you have to verify. The whole goal is to get them from text to phone call without exception. So if you do that, you can convert an extra 4 or 5 deals a month just by using this technique. So, next one, I keep moving because this is a freaking long list. I didn't realize how much stuff I wrote on here. The fundamentals in wholesaling is everything. Whenever you screw up or your pipeline runs dry or deals fall apart and you're commiserating and you think you failed, failure is life's mission statement to tell you something's gone wrong. You need to fix it now. So the cure to anything in wholesaling that's broke, and God knows you're going to you're going to have to overcome them, is go back to the fundamentals. Today, the best players in the NFL, when they try to do their cute one hand back catch, the coach will sit down and he goes, boy, you've got to get back to the basics. 2 hands on the ball, squeeze it, tuck it in. But some of you guys are out there trying to do like pinky catches and like you take everything that's told you for a word. Go back to the fundamentals of wholesaling. I'm going to tell you, man, people are going to lie to you in wholesaling. People are going to try to cheat you, stab you in the back. I don't take it personally. I just learn from it. And I vow, hopefully, to avoid that mistake in the future. Now, I'm not scared of it. I'm aware of it. But if I keep making the same mistake over and over, you won't last long. So if something breaks, say you went all in on one marketing channel and there's a problem with it now, go back and learn how to do wholesaling. Learn the fundamentals. I've already told you marketing is the key. Without it, it's going to be a challenge for you. So if you understand that fundamentals, if a kid that's in peewee soccer, peewee football, they just over and over. It's so funny because I get accused of constantly repeating myself. I've learned, dude, I have wisdom. To me, to sit there and teach you guys super advanced strategies, it only serves my purpose, my ego. But the reality is, if I want to help the masses, I've got to get the basic information out there and show you the fundamentals of wholesaling, because too many people fail in wholesaling. I'll say it right now. It pisses me off. The reason why most people fail in wholesaling because they thought it was going to be easier and they didn't think they're going to have to do a ton of work and they thought it was going to be a piece of cake. That's the problem with it. So if you start out with the fundamentals and you do the hard first, those people do really well in wholesaling. The ones who thinks everything's easy and they want to do the hard work later, those are the quitters, and those are the ones that are tipping the numbers in such a staggering failure rate. So we have to understand fundamentals is absolutely everything you can do wholesaling, and we need to understand that. So next one. Holy crap, am I going to be able to get this done? I don't know. Simplicity scales, complexity fails. Most of you, I like your operations are like so like they try to make them so advanced. You need to simplify. There's only 3 departments in wholesaling: marketing, which got to be led by you; acquisitions, which we'll talk about; and dispositions. Please don't complicate this business. I don't have a secret installment method department. I don't I'm just telling you, like if you don't understand your own processes, how are you going to hire employees and explain it to them? So Elon Musk does this amazing things, like take his businesses and break them down. And then they try to put it back together. And if they don't understand a component of the business, they take it out. And what happens is it was usually put in there with someone's idea and it was forced, and like everybody has to follow up with it. So if you have something in your wholesaling business that's not working, it's not generating leads, it's not getting you appointments with sellers, it's definitely not getting you contracts and assignments, what are you doing it for? You guys spend way too much on logos, way too much on LLCs, all the other stuff. It's not going to make you a dime. You have to learn the ability to market and connect with motivated sellers and the ability to market yourself. If you can do that, you can do amazing things. The more complex this business is, and if you have to like memorize all these scripts and you have to follow this ridiculous, like complicated, like course structure, you're going to fail. Anything in life you do not understand, you have a high probability of failing it. So simplify it, make it simple. How do I know it's simple? Explain it at like a 5th grade level, period. Do politicians do this? They tell them, don't speak up here, speak where the people are. Why are you any different as a wholesaler? Simplicity scales because it's easy to communicate the goals and objectives of the wholesale company. But most of you as a wholesalers, you don't even understand how you do it. How do I fix that? Write a standard operating procedure. It's called an SOP. Use ChatGPT. I can't make it any easier for you, and break down what it is you actually do and see if you can actually replace yourself. Most of you can't because you don't even understand what you're doing. So the more complicated it is, the more probability you're going to fail. Wholesaling is no different. I had one point where I just complicated my business so much, I went back to the basics and I started all over. That's how stupid I got. And you're all going to go through iterations of this. I promise you. It's not if, it's just when. Because we all think we're smarter than everyone else, and life's going to teach you a lesson on it. So next one. Well, let me see where I'm at. Okay. I'm going to keep on moving the best I can. This one is a big one. Find your 5. What do I mean by that? See, most of you are just gravitating towards influencers, which is natural. Like there's a lot of attention, and I get it. This is why you're probably watching the video. But I want you to go out and find 5 successful wholesalers and network with them. Do JV deals with them. Find out what makes them tick. Find out what their struggles are. Find out what their ultimate successes are, and find out what their goals and why they got into wholesaling. Why? Because you're more relatable with like regular people. Me and Zach are still regular people. Don't get me, like we are. But like, I need you to go find out 5 like regular people, not even online, preferably in the communities that you believe in and you support, and go crazy with it, man. Like to me, it's probably this part is probably one of the most inspiring things I ever did as a wholesaler. Like that's it. Go find 5 people going through the same struggles you are, and you will have bonded friends forever. Because there's something about, like when people in the military and they're going through, even being deployed, they're going through battles. There's a bond that can't be replaced there. Now, I'm not equivalent wholesaling to battling, but like there's a certain camaraderie that only another wholesaler can understand. Guys, this is a lonely business. I'm the first to admit it. But like when you got other people in the fight with you, it's very, very helpful. And I want you to understand it. The only way you can relate is find other people like you. My goal and Zach's goal is to elevate you in your wholesaling business. And you're going to find out you're going to rise above people in your inner circles, and you're going to freak them out. And you're going to have to seek replacements. It's the truth. I try to avoid this, but I've accepted it. I have problems that they're good problems, but they're problems. And they're problems of what a great wholesaler has. Like, how do I reward a staff of 12 for like an end of year party? Do I throw a Christmas party? Like, what do I like? These are my struggles. And to me, I'm still, I call myself a small guy, but like the idea is, I have plenty of money to solve whatever problems I have. Do I get a lot of problems with money? Yeah. So life's simple. Either choose your problems or they're going to choose you. I've chose my problems. The question is, the problems you have today, are they by choice? There's some things we can't control. I'm not talking about that. But like your health, that is a choice you can make for the rest of your life. Wholesaling has enabled me. I used to walk around 245 pounds for a long time. And like, I carried around an extra 50 pounds forever, but just because that's all I knew. I was surrounded by people that just fed me, And then I learned how my body worked. I learned how, because I learned how wholesaling worked, and it spread and infected the rest of my life, which is great. Why? I found 5 other people. He's like, hey, we're going to go work out this morning. I'm like, how do you guys do that? I was so out of shape, and I associated with people that were having the same successes and struggles I was, and that's how I found my five. So go out and find them. Find them in your social groups, your masterminds, whatever it is, and work with them. In fact, the people I've done the best wholesaling with and learned the most is not from the person that brought me to the group. It's from the community that was created in it. And I am a strong believer of communities, meeting up a couple times a year to connect with people. And that's what me and Zach have really created here. So I want you to understand. The next way to explode your wholesaling business, this is just a flat out, like, this is one I lived personally, and I still do this day. You just got to get better buyers. So if you're really good at finding motivated sellers, like I was when I started out, I sucked at dispo. I was the guy that probably needed the transaction. See, the transaction coordinating doesn't go out and find the cash buyer load. That's what you guys got to understand. A lot of you think it does. It doesn't. So if you find better buyers, Rick, how do I find better buyers? You just become more skilled at dispo. Now, I'm here to tell you, dispo, of all the three variances, marketing, acquisitions, and dispo, is the easiest skill set to acquire. And especially using softwares like XLeads that has the dispo built into it, it's incredible value for you. The days of you spending $5,000 or $10,000 for a complicated, high marketing dispo platform, those days are over. Like, this information is readily available, and you can get it within your XLeads account. Before, we had to manually vet everyone. We had to take their word for it. We had to make additional phone calls. You don't have to do that anymore. It's all in front of you. Now, I'm going to find better buyers so I can get more of a margin. So I got a contract at 150. Instead of selling it for 157, we'll sell for 165. And as you get better, because you're a great marketer, because that's what wholesaling teaches you, you'll get bigger spreads. And then you'll work on getting deeper discounted. You'll get better buyers. And this is how you start making massive profits. Guys, my first deal was $1,200. I was just so happy to do a deal. Did I leave money on the table? Absolutely. The first year and a half, I left a ton of money on the table. I didn't care. I was running a marathon. I was going to get 1% better every day until I hit the big leagues. And the big leagues took me a long time, guys. 7 years before I even was recognizable. So that's what I want you to do, is lose yourself, make the sacrifice. The next one, when we talk about increasing your bottom line as a wholesaler, use the go for no method. I think it's funny that people make fun of me. They're like, this is like not just a wholesaling strategy. A go for no is a way to get an ends to a means to an end. And what do I mean by that? Most of you as wholesalers try to guess what your seller's price is. And you do these ridiculous phishing schemes like, what if I offer you this? And let's just fully admit it. Let's just do a confession here. My first 2 years, I sat there and figured out how to make lowball offers. I was just really bad at it. And I would try stupid, like, give me your price first. I always spoke never to speak. These are ridiculous strategies that will just peg you in a hole. And if you will form relationships with people and connect with people and earn their trust, they'll eventually open up to you and tell you what it is they need to get for the property. Now, it's a dance. I'm the first to admit to it. You have to connect with people. You have to use mirroring techniques, and you have to learn how to connect with people. That is an art. Some people have to learn it. It can be learned. Some people have a God-given gift for it, but that given gift form gets them in all other sorts of trouble because they trust everybody. And what I'm saying with the go for no is, I constantly tried to guess what was in my seller's head. And I quickly learned I have no idea what's going on in that head. And they're playing a poker game without any cards on the table. So just take the poker game away, connect with them, and then just hit them with a question. You already know the outcome for it because you're not going to be shocked. Now, the only way it works, just so you know, is if off market, direct the seller that needs to sell. If you use go for no with realtors and paid ads, stuff like that, dude, it's suicide. I'm the first to admit it. Why would you do that? It doesn't work. See, if you take my information and then you try to fit it to your customized way, it's not going to work. I was never designed for that. This is why I tell when people have not gone entirely all the way through my course and understand what I teach. I focus on people that need to sell their house, direct the seller, off market. End of story. And if I build up massive rapport with them, I know I'm going to take a hit when I do this, but I am trying to get to the end result by reducing stress on that. Think of a child. I know we got to think about sometimes our sellers, but think of a child. Sometimes at some point, you got to get them to brush their teeth, right? Now, I don't know about you. I did everything to try to avoid brushing my teeth. And so sometimes we have to create incentives or systems to get them to brush their teeth because they don't understand when they're adults, it's going to be a problem. You don't brush those teeth. You're going to get a lot of plaque, a lot of cavities. And so we have to understand that our sellers don't want to give us that information, but they need help. They don't know how to do it. And so I'm going to give them an offer. They're most likely going to reject me. And I'm looking for the reaction for the counter response. Why? Because now instead of me fishing for the answer, they'll just give it to me. Does everyone give it to me? No. But this technique works more than it doesn't work. I have the proof for it. I've done it all the time. I teach people this on a daily basis. And most of you have no idea how to negotiate in the beginning. And if you truly want to grow up your wholesaling business, using the go for no method for motivated sellers, direct the seller. This cold weather's got me. Direct the seller that off market. This technique works incredibly well. I do it all the time. I role play with people. I do 3-way calls with sellers and I help people out. And they're like, Rick, I can't believe you got that price. You're not going to get what you don't ask for. So think about this. If a seller has a house that's worth $250 and I go, like, do you really expect them just like to give it to you for, if your target is to buy it for 170, you think they're just going to roll over and give it to you 170? No. I promise you your first offer is going to get rejected no matter what you put out there anyways. And the reality is if you're closer to that higher number, they're going to move the goalpost on you anyways. So question is, do you want wholesale deals and do you want to grow and blow up your business? Or do you want to like feel super right and like this is the only way I can do it? Go for no has a means. I didn't even invent it. I took it from another business. Someone was having massive success. And I said, can I use this in wholesaling? And we talked about it for a long time and it worked phenomenally, like phenomenally. And we all agreed, stop guessing what's in your customer's head and find the fastest way to extract it and make amends and see if you can put a deal together. If not, you're going to sit there and negotiate 3, 4, 5 weeks. Someone else is going to stealth you on the deal and you're just going to waste time. Go for no will reduce the cost you buy these contracts. The number one problem with wholesalers, you ready for this? You guys overpay for properties. This right here solves it. But if you want to do it, like go ahead. If you want to overpay for them, keep doing it. But remember, this isn't going to work with realtors. It's like the worst. This is the worst technique you can use with realtors because you're most likely not going to deal with a realtor anyways. The only thing that's going to fix a realtor is time and circumstance. So I stick to that one. Okay, let's keep going. We're on a roll here. Good Lord, how am I going to do this? Okay, I'm going to move faster here. Help sellers regardless of their outcome. This is a strategy I've adopted from day one in wholesaling. And I said, listen, if I can go in and tell people I'm going to help you regardless if I buy your house or not, every one of them go like this. Oh my God, that is so relieving to hear. Because they all think like, crap, if he can't buy my house, he's just going to like hit and run. Now, not everybody you're going to meet with, actually majority of the people you're going to meet with aren't going to sell you the house. I know that's a reality truth and it hurts. But the truth of the matter is, if you promise to help them out regardless, you'll win. And they'll go, wow, Rick actually wants to help me out even if he doesn't buy your house. Now, a lot of times I refer him realtors. I still make money off of that. I refer estate planners, estate auctions. Sometimes I refer like family services for people that need help. I've done dog rescues. You know how many dogs I put in the back of my car? True story once. This was about 3 years ago. They left a pit bull chained up to the back of the house. He goes, no, the dog goes there. Like, no, the dog doesn't, like, that's ridiculous. Nobody would take the dog. So I had to find a specialty company. Here's the best part. It was 80 miles away. They're like, you got to bring the dog to us. Now, the dog's scared. It's not the dog's fault. I love animals. But I got to tell you, that was the most petrifying hour and a half of my entire life. Riding the back seat with a car of a dog that could potentially maul me. Now, everything worked out fine. But I'm just telling you, I have to help sellers get out of their own way. Period. That's just my job. Now, I actually wound up buying the house, but like I was pissed. But I had to do what's right for the dog and right for the seller regardless. Now, What would you do? It was nobody wanted to take the dog. None of the locals, like we don't do with pit bulls. We don't do what. We found a special rescue foundation out of Palm Beach. Now, this is up in Port St. Lucie. And this is a common problem in Port St. Lucie. A lot of pit bulls, like people don't know what they're getting into. Now, it wound up being the sweetest dog, but it was trembling and shaking. And I'm just telling you, I'm going to help a seller get out of their own way. Sellers go, no, listen, Rick, everything's fine. We don't I don't really need your services. I look, there's animals running across the floor. I'm being eaten alive by fleas. There's cockroaches climbing up the side, and the kids are starving in the house. I'm going to make it right. I'm going to help them no matter what. Hell, I've given them, like, I would give those people cash, but like, I need to help them help themselves. And so we got to help sellers get out of their own way. And I always tell people, I'm going to help you regardless of what happens if I buy your house or not. And when you do that, they're like, holy crap, nobody's ever said that to me. And I want you guys to understand that. And that's how you truly help people. You got to go, listen, I'm here to help you. If you're not here to help people in wholesaling, get the hell out of this business. I have had more emotional closings in wholesaling than any other business I've ever done. Some of the stuff like bothers me. Like I listen, you guys know I deal a lot with probate. I hear stories that just make my skin crawl. It disgusts me, but I have a job to do. And at the end of the day, I'm going to do it. I'll let the man upstairs pass judgment. That's not my job. Okay. I'm going to keep moving here. Ready? Ghosting sellers is a you problem. It's not the seller's problem. Listen, I've learned over time when you go back and evaluate why a seller ghosts you, there's two overwhelming reasons. End of story. And a lot of like, they ghost me. It's not my fault. It's your fault. You did not convince them enough, or you did not create enough trust. Now, sellers that ghost you mean they're scared. They go deep into procrastination and they go, I signed a contract, but if I hide, they can't force me to close. So think about how the seller's feeling. Number two, there is an overwhelming issue that you have not solved for them that has driven them into this scared state. And so you have to deal with it. If you go, I'm going to record a memorandum, that's not how we move forward in this business. It's terrible. Now, there is a time and a place that a memorandum needs to be filed when someone screws with you all the way to the end of the closing. But I'm not going to advocate it, because if you do enough business in this, like if you waste time with lawyers and suing people, you will never get anywhere. That's your ego taking over. And there's a time and a place for that. With a motivated seller, it's not. So the first thing you need to do is solve the problem. How do I do it? I get in a car and I go meet with them if I can, or I get on the phone and I get on a call and I solve the problem. The more time that goes by in ghosting, the worse the outcome. End of story. Go solve it. You're going to have to win back their trust. You're going to have to make them feel comfortable, and you're going to have to help them overcome some sort of issue that's holding them off. Now, once you get past that, and thank God, hopefully you can save the deal, I want you to think, how did I get in this situation, and learn from it? Because if most of your sellers ghost you, it is a you problem. It's not the seller's problem. It means you are not winning them over, and you are not solving all their problems. And until you figure that out, you're going to have problems. This is why I teach you, when they have reservations, make sure you spend extra time with them and solve it there on the spot. And then when you're done, let them know the title company is going to be reaching out to you shortly. How shortly? Like within an hour or two. Some of you guys wait a week, a month. They go, I don't want to run title just in case. It's a terrible, terrible message you send to your sellers. So we have to take accountability. We market like hell, and then we all act shocked when somebody ghosts you. It's not if it's going to happen, it's going to be when. And 9 times out of 10, it is on us. We did something wrong, and then we try to justify, like, I can't believe they're ducking me out. I'm going to go record something on public record. It's wrong. Stop it. Fix it. I'm telling you right now. So I'm going to rip off a couple easy ones here. Property managers, guys, like, you want to blow up your wholesaling business, go to them. They are owned by realtors. They manage rental properties as a lead source for listing. 2% of their listings are vacant or in terrible shape. If you can connect with these people, just like I teach you how to connect with title companies, to connect with bail bondsmen, all these other people, it is a phenomenal source. Remember, there's 1 or 2 people in the front office, usually young people running it. Connect with them, bring them donuts, take them out to lunch. I promise you, let them know you'll pay them their full commission, and they would love to get rid of these properties. Do another easy one. Bandit signs. Like a lot of you guys overlook this like it's, I'm too good for bandit signs. That's such a low level activity. If you can make 35 grand off of a bandit sign, how low level is it? Dude, if you truly want to do whatever it takes to make it in wholesaling, stop trying to act like you're just this incredible. Like, dude, listen, today to this, I got no problem putting out a bandit sign. I have no shame in what I do. My ego is not my biggest advocate. It's my biggest enemy. And if you understand that, stop thinking like you're too good for that. Dude, be the guy who goes out and puts on 100. I don't care. But like, stop. I'm too good for that. Who cares? Most of you trying to get to deal one, trying to get to your first 100,000, do whatever it takes to get there. Stop trying to justify what you can and cannot do. Just be resourceful and get it done. Oh God, I don't even know where to get to these other ones. Number 5, like this one, it's not number 5. Get 5 wholesale deals before you consider scaling. You can't scale till you got 5. I don't care what you say. Hey, Rick, I want to partner up and scale with you. How many deals you done? Well, I got 1 under contract. Okay, go back, get 4 more. I'd love to work with you. You see, I want to see that you're going to walk the walk. Anyone can talk about how many deals they're going to do in the future. But at the end of the day, like if you can't get the 5, do you really have what it takes to be a wholesaler? I'm just telling you the truth. I know it's not what you want to hear. It is the absolute truth. 5 is the number to find out if someone can stick through it, because those 5, they're usually brutal. You're outbound marketing, you're knocking on doors, you're cold calling, reverse driving for dollars, you're chasing people down at meetings. And honestly, you can get 5 deals with that alone, with my eyes shut. If you can't do it, scaling's not going to work for you. It's just going to magnify your financial issues, and it's going to create a bigger hole for you. So when you guys are like, Rick, why are you still stuck on this 5? Why? Because the people I partner with, if they can't get 5 deals done, I know all real estate's local. And that means you don't have the ability to find a motivated seller, or you don't know how to dispo them. Both of them are a problem for me to be my partner. This is a journey you're going to have to get through reps and quantity. And all I can do is provide you like X leads and products to help you get there, but you're going to have to do it on your own. You have to understand this is what we truly need to make this work. Because if you don't, you're going to get stuck, and you have to understand how it works with that. Everybody got it? Good. Get it. 5. It's statistically proven. If you don't believe me, check it out. I promise you. So, awesome. Okay. Now we're going to get to like some of the stuff that I don't know why they waited to the end to do it, but that it is. Next one. AI is mandatory as a wholesaler. If you're not using AI, you're going to have problems. We use it every day in our business. We incorporate it into our X-Lead software. And AI is basically your future is your VA, virtual assistant. They do more than most virtual assistants will ever do. And they have no limitations on what they can do and what you can ask it. So I'm just telling you, play around with AI, get involved into it. If you don't know how to use it, you can use a software like X-Leads and show you how to use it in it. I don't rely on it. I use it mostly as marketing and sorting data. AI helps you with speed, end of story, and gives you better information, and you can have better conversations with people. But if you choose, AI, it's just a fad, it's a trend, you're about to be run over in wholesaling. In fact, I'm going to tell you some of the future of all wholesale leads will be probably at least 70, 80% derived from AI. The data is just too fast. It's too powerful. And the people that act the fastest on it are going to take all the best deals right off the bat. So get used to it. Don't ignore it. Acquisition manager truth. This is what no one's going to tell you. Ask me how long the average acquisition manager lasts in this business. No one's going to tell you the truth. Everyone acts like they're like 10-year employees. Honestly, if you got 6 months out of an acquisitions manager, you did something special. Now, most acquisition managers are a failure on the team to lead it. I'm the first to admit that. Like as good as entrepreneurs as we are in wholesaling, once we go to hire and recruit a team, that's a different skill set and a different understanding that you will have to master. And you will need time, and you might need additional instruction. This is the first to tell you. Now, there's a caveat to it, which we're going to talk about shortly. So I'm going to save it for like the next segment here. But if you really think you're going to hire an acquisition manager to replace yourself and say you got plenty of deal flow, the reality is you should be the acquisition manager, and then you replace marketing people to pull lists, You can do a transaction coordinator and stuff like that. But the reality is, by replacing the acquisition role, which is the most important one, which is the connection with the motivated seller, it's going to kill your business. And then I see everyone, they run these ads. Oh, we're looking for an acquisitions manager. We're looking for a rock star. And every one of them says the exact same thing. They need to make six figures. Sorry. They need to make the minimum 6 figures a year. They never last. Go back and check on all these. They never last. And they go through this. And the problem with that, if they don't last, you have to go through 3 months of training, which that's why most of you wind up doing yourself. And then I've watched people with much bigger operations than me. They always wind up getting somebody in-house, either one of their partners or someone to do the acquisitions, and then they outsource all the other materials. That's the way to do it, guys. If you think you're just going to hire an acquisitions person and walk away and leave them with the highest skill set in your business, and you think you're going to double your business, you're going to get a rude wake-up call. Outsource everybody else. The acquisition person, in my opinion, is the last one you outsource. Remember, you got to marketing people, help people screen on that, set appointments. But man, when it comes down to close the deal, you got to send the person who has the most on the line, and that's you. Don't sit here thinking acquisition manager is going to save you. I've been through this so many times. Do I have acquisitions managers? Yes. Do I go through them? Yes, I do. I do. They eventually want to be your business partner, and that's a whole nother conversation. But it is a learned skill set that takes time, and you have to go through it. Can you get help with it? Yeah, you technically can. But I don't really teach that part of the business because most of you struggle getting from deal 1 to 5. Let's be brutally honest, and that's what we're here to help you out with it. Okay, the next one, if we talk about what's scalable and what's not, then let's talk about it. Guys, direct mail, I'm just here to tell you, it is the scalable event in wholesaling. It is proven. It is reliable. And most importantly, it is legal with all the crap we have going on with marketing. It is supported by the United States Postal Service. So as long as you don't make an illegal offer or you don't make an unethical bribe, anything's fair game when marketing. I think it's so funny, but like, now I don't do urgent notice, none of that stuff, but you have to create curiosity. I teach you all on how to do it. Go over to mailingmastery.com. I'll teach you how to do it 100% for free. I'm really good at direct mail. And direct mail is scalable with you in the business. Now you can add support people, but the key is you can click 1 or 2 buttons, get it all done. It's a little overwhelming. You're going to get uncomfortable, but that's how you scale your business. Go talk to most people that scale their business. I'm talking like much bigger levels. You'll find that about 70% of them rely on direct mail. Why? It's easy, it's scalable, and it's legal. A lot of this other stuff we're doing, it's just constantly being attacked and legislated. And the problem is direct mail is, I don't have to pay market price. It's a set cost per piece, and I figure it out. On average, I'll spend between $5 and $7 grand on direct mail. I get an 8 times return. You do the math in your head on that. Can I do that with pay per lead? Paper is so variable. No, I know I can't. That's why I've always relied on direct mail, but it's not just me. Don't take my word for it. Find the people that do the most marketing and find out what their number one key source is. And you'll find 70% of them go to direct mail. Now they do other alternative sources, but they constantly have to shift, make, and reevaluate how they do it. With direct mail, you do have to stay on top of it. You can't fall asleep. The one time I fell asleep, I did the Google image, and it became problematic because everybody else did it. But there's unique ways to do it, mailingmastery.com. Now we're going to get to our final ones because I guess I saved the, the reality is you guys that sit here and spam on this stuff, just ridiculous. So really cute. Make sure you don't help that person out. Like, so somebody spamming me something religious is just so ridiculous on the channel. And so you can tell it's a marketer because they made it where you can't block them and do all this stuff. So make sure you guys show that person the love. What an idiot they are. Just unbelievable. Man, and you put that name in your title. Oh my God, dude. That's the worst thing you can do. Sorry. The problem, I only talk about wholesaling. So if people want to talk about stuff and spam like that is the worst example of networking, and you guys should never work with a person like that. It's ridiculous. So, okay, let's move to the next one. Here we go. You ready? This one's going to cause some heartburn with some people, and I want you to understand. Ready? This is 100% factual. I verified this 30 times over, probably 100, but 30, I personally witnessed it. Wholesaling is not a sellable business. Take me up on it. Send me proof. Now, when I say sellable, like significant, and here's what you'll find. People go, I just sold my wholesaling business. I'm going to guarantee you one of two things. Number one, they sold their wholesaling business because it's not what they represented it being, meaning maybe they were spending a tremendous amount of money on marketing. They were doing deals, but there was no ROI. That is the typical one. And then there was a coaching product wrapped up in it, usually a very high-end ticket sale, 20 grand plus. These are the ones I'm talking about. And they told you they sold their property for a huge 9-figure deal. And then they will never provide you proof. They will never tell you who they sold it to. And then you're supposed to believe them and go pay them 20, 30 grand a year to learn how to sell a coachable business, to sell a scalable business in wholesaling. Guys, dude, wake up. Like it never exists. Here's how most wholesaling business is. They do get sold. And then you got to understand, like if Rick sells his wholesaling business, dude, I am the business. Me and my son are the business. You take us out, you don't have jack. End of story. It's just the truth. You can't replicate people. I know Elon Musk is trying to. We are not there yet. So the reality of people who try to sell you on, I sold a high, like 9-figure business, put all the proof up there and show me the buyer. Because here's what you're going to find it. The buyer is usually going to make 2 or 3 payments. And then it's all seller financing and they don't make any payments and they try to re-leverage the whole deal because they find out it's not nearly what they thought it was. Now, the definition of a sale is you have paperwork. I don't give a crap. It's not sellable. And the only reason people tell you this stuff is because you have to buy another coaching product. I'm talking about high ticket stuff. I'm not even talking about like these low level wholesaling courses. Guys, look into it. If you're going to tell me you sold a business for 9 or 10 figures, dude, excite me, show it to me. Like I would be, but if you're never, ever going to show it to me, why would I ever believe you? Like you can't make a claim that I sold business for X amount of dollars. And then you go, hey, you can do the same. You can't. It's a lie. I've been in the business 22 years. Every wholesaling business I've seen sold has failed 100%. Why? Because you are the wholesaler. You created the system. You drive the culture. And once you sell it, unless all the key employees stay, it's never going to replicate the income it did before. Most of these businesses are sold. It's usually a coaching ploy. And here's how you do it. And you can't do it, dude. I've been doing this a long time. It's not a sellable business. And the good business is, why the hell would you sell it? Here's the key, though. Wholesaling is not a sellable business. The assets created by wholesaling is the business. Do you understand that? Why do you think you can sell a wholesaling? You are the wholesaling business. So stop buying in this crap. People will tell you, I'm going to teach you how to sell your business. And you're going to keep blowing up. Like we got to stop trying to sell everything and we got to start creating stuff. Create the assets. Buy wholesaling in the business. That is the business. If you have 15 houses and they're cash producing, like on income, whatever, creative financing, sub 2, owner financing, maybe you bought them out and did a creative like deal. Maybe you just got such a monster deal from a probate, it's producing a ton of cash. You either keep them forever or you sell them. That is the business, guys. Don't let anybody tell you. I've been doing this 22 years. They're full of crap if they tell you otherwise. It's the truth. You need to understand it. And so people are go, wait a minute, it's very discouraging. I can't sell my wholesale business. No, I did. You can't sell the wholesaling business. You sell the assets of the business. If somebody wants to buy Rick Ginn's wholesale business, unless Rick Ginn's going to run it, what's the point? You're never going to duplicate what I did over 20-some years. Why do you think you, and a smart person that buys it, but there's a lot of dumb people out there that will buy things, but like every one of them are going to be owner financing. No bank will ever finance this. And the reality of wholesaling was such a massive business, huge companies would dominate the wholesaling industry. They don't. Show me the biggest wholesaling business that's corporate owned. They can't, because you can't make a return on it because all real estate is local. Oh God, I get all fired up on that one. So, and my last one, follow the numbers. They will never lie to you. People will lie to you. Wholesalers will lie to you. Sellers will lie to you. Buyers will definitely lie to you. But when you look at data and you track it and you look at it, if you truly want to grow your wholesaling business, although you might not like some of the numbers, it will guide you on where to go in the future. So you have to look at numbers when they're good, and you have to definitely look at them when they're bad, and you have to pivot and make adjustments. Guys, if you truly want to change your wholesaling business, I need you to understand how this works. So the first thing we need to do is go over to freewholesaling.com, make sure you register, get into the games. And guys, I think I've shared with you 30 absolute truths on how to explode your wholesaling business. Some of them I agree, like you're a little shocked by it, but like it's like I've been doing this a long time. And I always want to tell you the truth on here on how it actually works. And the sooner you get the truth, the sooner you can make this happen. Guys, I love this business, man. Like I'm never going to leave wholesaling. You couldn't kick me out of here unless you wanted to. And for that reason, I want to get this going. I'll just leave you like, where was it? I have a couple comments I put up on here. I mean, dude, look at this dude. Just locked up another buyer while watching this live. That is awesome. Austin's enjoying X Leads. I can go on all day long, man. I love you guys. Join us on the Zach Discord. You guys know it there. And guys, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the Flip with Rick channel. Check out my channel at Rick Ginn on YouTube and Zach Ginn. And as usual, guys, we love you. We support you. Remember, X Leads is the all-in-one platform. Everything's moving in X Leads. It's really cool. Some of the stuff we got going, I've shared it with like my inner circle group, and you guys are also going to find out. I love you. Remember, focus on the fundamentals of wholesaling. If people talk over your head, we all have to start somewhere. You're going to have to start with outbound leads. We show you how to do it. Make sure you go over to freewholesaling.com. Guys, I love you. Appreciate you. Stay warm. Man, it's cold out there. And guys, have a blessed day. We will see you back here on Thursday. Zach, well, me and Zach, I can figure out who's going to be on, but we're always on Thursdays because we enjoy family time with wholesaling. Love you guys. Appreciate it.